Happy Sunday, everyone. So I'm recording this as a reaction to the service in Graham, Washington this morning by New Testament Christian Church, officiated by Mike Kekel. I learned of the service from my daughter, who woke me from a peaceful Sunday afternoon grandma nap to let me know that I'd been mentioned in the service. And I asked her by my name, which I don't care. Name me, Tracy Pelfrey, that's my name. And she said, no, just use the letter T, and made heavy reference. So I said, well, I'm too tired to listen to that now. So what I did was this afternoon when I got up, I captured the video, recorded it, and she had played a clip for me when she first told me about it. So I heard a little bit, and then I posted right away on Twitter that I was going to be responding to it tonight. And I also, and as you see right here, I left a comment on their Facebook page. I felt like I have nothing to hide. I will come and say, that was me he was talking about. I'm Tracy Pelfrey. And, basically, I didn't do anything wrong. I mostly used these people's own words from their own videos to buttress my point that no one should go to this organization's services and become involved with them. And I'm very passionate about that. And what I'm not, and I don't think you can find a soul that will say this to you unless you dig up the grave of my mother, and she'll tell you I whined as a kid, and that's probably it. That's not me. I don't whine. I don't complain. I'm not a bitter person. I'm not, that may be because I'm a Libra. I don't know. I don't follow the horoscopes, but I tend to be balanced. I try to be in my life. And if you've listened to any of my videos that I've posted, you'll see that there are times when, I try to be as even-keeled as possible. I'm not someone who is out here to just be hateful and bitter and disgruntled and, let's see, what other words did he use? Whining and filled with fear and wait, I think I wrote some down here. He was totally throwing shade all over the place. Oh my goodness. Yeah, fear, whining, hatred, trashing, evil. Self-pity. Ooh, that's a good one. Discouragement. So, lots of adjectives coming from the pulpit today. Not one of them describes me. Not one of them is the spirit of anything that I've written or shared. Not one bit. So, let me go ahead and do that. Let me go and find the beginning of the part of the service where I would like to begin, and then we'll go from there. Thanks.
But Christians who live in the wine cellar have too much vitamin H because that's their kind of wine. It has an H added to it. Living in the WHINE cellar. He was surrounded by people who failed to demonstrate faith. People who chose rather to whine about things than to believe him for things. And are we not surrounded by Israelites also today? Maybe even in this service. Some have chosen to be whiners instead of believers. Fear is the opposite of faith. Whining is the opposite of faith. And that's important. I'll show you why. Not long ago, somebody put something on Facebook that was rather disturbing. And when I saw it, I said, and I don't really read that. I don't really like to look at Facebook. Nothing wrong with it, really, except what people do when they're on it. It's the people that can kind of get a little off track. It's not the medium itself.
Well, it would be kind of crazy to say it's the medium itself, since that's how you're live streaming and putting out. Oh my.
Or its usability, its usefulness. So anyway, it showed it to me. I said, well, let's wait and see. Don't do anything. Don't say anything. Let's see who else comes out. Let's wait for the others in the cellar to manifest.
I'm not sure who else he's speaking about because, I might have already said it in a clip, but if I haven't, I didn't post anything on Facebook, so I only use that for private reasons. And as far as anyone else, I work alone.
Let's let the other whiners jump on board to comfort the whining.
Also, no whining going on. I dare him to produce one example of it, and no need for comfort.
A clear exhibition of a lack of faith.
The more he talks, the more I'm not convinced this is about something that I wrote.
Why are you so fearful? Where is thy faith?
I wonder if everyone's sitting there wondering what was said, because there is absolutely no context whatsoever. So maybe the question is, why are you fearful? What are you fearful of in sharing what was said? Put it out there, let people know.
I'm not trying to be mean, but you'll see here that Jesus was meaner than that.
Yikes, that's how he reads it? Jesus was meaner than that.
As you look at all these instances, he did not understand why people caved in to emotions and self-pity and whining and discouragement and all of that. And don't you know that there's no temptation that has taken you that's not common to everybody? Everyone feels fear at times. Everyone feels discouragement. Everyone feels that sensation that nobody really likes them. Kind of like I'm feeling from you right now. But if my emotional disposition depended on somebody praising me, or my fame, or the number of clicks on social media, or how many likes I got on a message, or any of that, or whether somebody called me, or somebody said, hey, I love you, I'm praying for you, I would be a miserable man, because I don't get much of that. And don't start today, it's too late. I really don't need it. I really don't need it, but it overwhelms you at times and you feel horrible. Especially, how would you like being trashed on the internet? How would you like people saying evil things about you?
How would you like? That's what he wants to know. Well, I'm going to answer that tomorrow. On the blog, I will be putting in order for you a bunch of posts that Kekel put when he came onto FactNet back in 2004 as the Whirlwind. He didn't even come on with his real name, and said some awful things about someone's daughter and their child. And so he's whining here, but let's see what he did and what he has always done, and we'll find a pattern of behavior. And it's not nice.
Because that's how people who don't have faith act. And I thought about a lady I once knew, first initials T.
I don't want to make any wild assumptions here, I'm assuming he's speaking about me. My name is Tracy Pelfrey. And at the beginning of this is what's kind of thrown me off so far in listening to it, is that he mentioned someone showed him something on Facebook, which my only Facebook dealings are with my private profile, which is set to private. The only public things you can see there are my cover photo and my profile, and whatever posts are attached to that. But you are welcome to go to, what is my thing anyway? Let me see. I don't even know what it's called. It is called Tracy Ann, and it's TA Myrtle Beach, if you want to find me on Facebook. And if you want to scour through my pictures and posts that are made publicly available, you're welcome to do so. I use it as a place to keep in touch with far-flung friends of mine that I've met through the years, and locals, of which I have many, and I'm very fortunate in that regard. And everything's just about my granddaughter, or pictures of out and around town, or just funny stories. So the only other Facebook things are groups. They're all private. So I really don't know. I don't want to assume it is me so far where we're at in the video. He has mentioned Facebook, which I didn't put anything on there, and unless he knows someone in the private group. But again, there's nothing there that's anything. And the other thing now is this, with a letter T, and dear friends. He says, what does he say? Wait, let's go back here. He says, I think he says about they were good friends. I don't know who they is. I'm one person. So let's see what he says further.
And I thought, man, these people, they were dear friends at one time. They were dear friends.
Last I looked, I was a this person, not a these people. Semantics, I know.
For those of you that are coming to church today, you don't know I'm the heavy guy. I take care of this nasty stuff sometimes, and I have to preach to preachers and students and other people besides just the local congregation. So sometimes I get a little bit meaty. And so if meat is not something you like to hear, then just drink the milk and push the steak to the side. But if there's no meat to Christianity, then there is no Christianity. Amen. Because there's plenty of weakness all around our nation that gives place to the devil and place to false doctrines and all these things, and I'm not up for sharing that kind of stuff.
What? He just spent how many different services talking about all these false doctrines and stuff? He clearly enjoys it. He has always enjoyed it.
I thought, what a great friend, somebody that we dearly loved. And because they let hate enter their heart.
I can see this is going to be the part of the message where I have to keep stopping to record, but that's all right. So now he's a doctor who can ascertain what's inside of me, or a therapist or something. It's definitely not by any kind of illumination from above, because there is not an ounce of hate in my heart. There are many times people say things to me like, they hate somebody for some reason or another. Some injustice was brought upon them, whatever. And I have found in life that if you hate, it affects you physically and mentally and everything. It's an awful thing to have going on in yourself. So I just want to say for the record, this might be the part where he starts throwing out all these adjectives. And why is he doing that? Has he spoken to me? No. You all are free to go read everything I've written since, I believe, April or May. I started the, whenever it was that he talked about the lost kids of NTCC, that kind of really, on the heels of all the military stuff, I thought, now's the time. I'm in a good place in my life where I can devote myself and give myself to this to warn others. It's warnings. It's sharing of testimonies. It's sharing what other people have said. And mostly it's about recording clips of their services and playing them for you with some commentary, especially topics that I personally feel, maybe you don't, but it's not hate. I don't hate them because they teach tithe. I don't hate them because they coerce people and get them in their ranks and tell them they're going to hell if they don't pay tithe. That's their words.
They let hatred enter their mind and heart. They started attacking people, trying to hurt people.
I'm actually inserting this part after the fact as I'm just going through the video to post it. What he may be talking about as well is not just what I'm doing online now, but a concerted effort that was made back in 2006 by many of us. And I was contributing to a blog and writing on FactNet. Things about this group in order, the same exact mission was to keep people away. At the time, it was anyone. Now my focus is really on alerting the military, because that's very near and dear to my heart. And so I have a feeling that that's part of this here. The more I listen to this video, I really don't think that beginning part is about me. I can't be sure. It just doesn't match up with how he began the part, which I'm still assuming is me. I don't know. I'm only mostly assuming it's me because everyone else thinks it is. I've had people text and call me today and like, I better go check this out after Diana told me. So I really don't know, honestly. And I didn't listen to the rest of the message because I kind of just had enough. The gist was got the gist. So here's two more. I was attacking people and trying to hurt people. Who did I attack? Attack is such a strong word. Even if you use words to attack someone, it's so strong. And trying to hurt people. I don't think there's anyone that knows me or has ever known me that would say I'm a person about hurting other people. It's not in me. It's not in me at all. And so the fact that he thinks he can pop into my heart and my mind and analyze it and do a little sweep, figure out what's wrong with me and what's happening, what motivates me, what my intentions are, this is really strong stuff, because I believe my things are quite balanced that's out there. Granted, he doesn't like it. He doesn't like to know that the clips, which he's live streaming, they're out there for everyone to see. I try to spare people by breaking down chunks, and if I have an experience with something, I share it in the middle of the clips. So I'm not just saying, oh, go look at their whole video over there, because who wants to go through all that? All the, sometimes the singing is good, sometimes it's not so good. It's hard to get through, so we just cut it out for people so they don't have to deal with it. And then we are actively letting chaplains know, and the Army, the Marines, sailors, the Air Force, about the intentions of these people, which Kekel stated in a recent message And he was sharing what he considered a good testimony or a good report from Rossi over in, where is he? He's in California. And so that's disturbing to me, because I know they're preying on those people, and we know from the numbers they need more people. They want them funneled through those servicemen's homes to Graham. And so that's not hate. That is not attacking anybody. That is saying this is what's happening. This is what they're preaching. I'm playing their own words. So it's really quite something that he will just get up there in public. I mean, he didn't use my name, so I guess I have to be thankful for that. Maybe it's still not me. Let's listen and find out.
And this kind of thing, and that's not Christ. That is not Christianity. And so now she sits in her wine cellar, attacking. Her family's been blown apart.
Oh my God, this guy has no heart. He's malicious. And you're going to see that this has been his way for a long time. I can't even be too bothered by it, because it's not unexpected. It's just so cold and heartless and untrue. So I'm this person sitting in my wine, WHINE, cellar. Ah, so cute, the play on words. That's never been done before. That's sarcasm. That's not hate. That's not attacking. He says that, so I have this hate and no faith and no nothing. I'm just this person sitting in this cellar, this wine cellar. I'm whining. Have you heard my whining? Go ahead, point it out to me. Tell me where it is. I will absolutely publicly say, yeah, Kekel was right. I will go wherever I have to go and say, if you can find me attacking, whining, what else did he say? All these things, right? But the heartless part comes next, doesn't it? When he says, my family's been blown apart. What in the world does that mean? Does he mean I'm divorced? Yeah. Okay. So, that's very rich, coming from someone who sits over an organization that through the years has treated marriage and divorce like a revolving door, or musical chairs. When the music stops, choose someone else. He thinks it's his right to do this. He thinks it's his right, and he thinks he knows things. He doesn't know anything. And that's why when I'm done with this video, and it may not be ready exactly right away, but I've been copying stuff from my files that I've kept through the years from FactNet. And you're going to see what kind of man this is and how he's been all this time. He pulls these kind of shenanigans. He doesn't know things. He assumes things. So, is my family blown up? No. Am I divorced? Yes. If you want to call that blown up, go ahead. Call it blown up. This guy is gross. This guy is so gross.
Her friends aren't there anymore. I don't even know if she goes to church any longer. I don't know.
You are right on that, Mike. You don't know. You don't know. Dude, what are you talking about? Friends aren't there anymore. What friends? What do you know of me? You haven't even heard squat from me. You don't know anything about me for over 17 years. Her friends aren't there anymore? What friends? What are you talking about? Where are you getting your information from? Your source really stinks, gotta say. Something about Facebook, something about friends, something about attacking. I would get a new source. Definitely get a new source. And about whether I go to church or not, it is none of your business. For sure, none of your business. Because we've seen what you and your cronies do, the sycophants that follow you to online forums in the past, what they do to people, how they judge. You are a judger of outward things. And you're talking about things right now you have zero knowledge of. And probably most of the people sitting in that place, listening to you, absorbing your lies, will never know. And I don't care. Because the overall mission is to keep people from that church. I am totally confident that at least a few of those people sitting there will eventually leave. Because I hope they're putting together this little library in their mind of all these crazy, unloving, heartless things that you say all the time.
How her relationships have turned out with family, and why. It didn't have to happen. It all started with some kind of bitterness.
This is just getting silly now. It's just getting silly, and it's just getting so predictable. This is what they do all the time when someone dares to warn others not to go to their church. It all started with bitterness. I don't know what the relationships are. You just said you know something about my friends. My circle of friends. Now, relationships or family, I don't know. You don't know. You don't know anything. You don't know anything. Give it up. What does it say about opening your mouth and removing all doubt?
When bitterness gets in there, it starts tearing people apart. And you become a whiner, and everybody else is responsible for our situation, and we start blame shifting and projecting our own sins onto other people.
Now, this is something here. If I was an armchair behavioral specialist, which I'm not, I would say Kekel is projecting onto me his bitterness. Maybe bitterness towards me or other people who have dared to come online and say things to keep others away. But to say there's bitterness, find it. Find the bitterness. Show me. You can't just say things and not back it up, right? Even when you preach a sermon, you say things, but you try to back it up. You try with the word of God, right? It's the same thing here. You're just saying stuff. You're just saying stuff. You're just throwing every adjective in the book to act like you know me. There's no blame shifting. Who did I blame for what? I blame anyone for anything. There's not one person. I'm responsible. I was the first one to come into this organization. I'm responsible for my ex-husband being involved, whether he spoke up or not, if he saw red flags. That's still, I look at it like it's on me. And for my kids too. I blame myself. I've had to live with regret till there came the point where I wasn't going to do it anymore. When you realize what it takes to be lured and suckered in and stay in under the coercion and the manipulation, words like these, people will be like, what? She's bitter and blaming? There's not one place he can find that. He can't cite it. It's on Twitter. It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube Shorts. It's on Instagram. And it's on a blog. Once someone just starts saying things, where is the point where people listening start to doubt and say, or make him prove it? I can ask it. He's saying it of me. I can say, prove it, man. Let's see what you got. Go ahead. Pull a line from anywhere where I blamed anyone, where I even used the word blame, other than on myself. Stop projecting your bitterness about being stuck in that group onto me. It's not working. I'm happy. I'm free.
When what we should do is repent, get that sweetness of Christ back in there.
Wow. Sweetness of Christ like you have? I do not see that. I do not see that in you. If you think you have it, you are fooling yourself because it's not there. I think you should maybe step back. Let somebody else preach for a bit. Get yourself together. Go look at your own messages. Go look at it. Look at the anger. Anger at church members for not paying tithe. Anger at preachers for not getting more church members. Anger at servicemen's directors, or whatever you call them now, preachers, not sending people to Bible school. You have to step back and check yourself. And never have you done that. All the ways you've humiliated people through the decades and decades. I know the stories. I've seen them myself. Of the ways that you utterly humiliated people and never, ever, ever one time got up in the pulpit or anywhere. You publicly do that to someone, you should publicly apologize. That's what's right. That's what's humane. That's what separates people. You should have through the years. You should have gotten up and you should have apologized to so many that you harmed, you personally harmed. And posthumously, you should apologize for Davis. How many people were humiliated for that by him? By you. By you. I don't know how you live with yourself. I honestly don't. And for you to come out here like this, it's just further proof. Like, why don't you just keep your mouth quiet? All you do is prove the points of all of us who are trying to dissuade people from going. You did it on FactNet. You couldn't stop yourself. You admitted recently in one of your messages, you were reading something someone wrote on Twitter, something political, you had to respond, right? You just can't help yourself. You have to make the snarky comments. You have to act like you know what's going on in someone's heart and in their mind and in their friendships and in their families. You don't know anything. And I'm going to do my best, more so now than ever, to keep people away. I don't want them to be entangled. I don't want them to lose years of their life. I don't want children to be brought up in that place. You have a silly Bible school that no one's even trained to teach. What is that? You act like you're over some sort of great work of God, and you're not. You're a heartless, unloving man right now as you deliver this message over your pulpit. You're a bully and you're a coward.
And when that sweetness of Jesus Christ is in our hearts, we don't want to strike out at anyone, because love is a greater force than hatred any day. And love worketh no ill to his neighbor. Amen. Are these strange things? Of course not. This is basic Bible. And so some people just insist on living their lives in the wine cellar, a place without light that preserves their pitiful state.
Tell yourself that, Kekel. Tell yourself that. Well, I guess if he wants to do this back and forth ping pong game, he says something like, just throws a scripture out there, worketh no ill to his neighbor. Just, what does it have to do with anything? Nobody's working ill. You are. You're preaching the stuff. I'm taking clips and sharing it. That's not working ill. It would be working ill to my neighbor if I did not warn them, if I knew the truth and I kept it from them. That, to me, is evil. I feel a sense of duty and a compulsion to warn others. And I'm not doing it in a hateful way. I'm not doing it in a mean-spirited way. I'm trying to do it in a very balanced way. I'm trying to be very cognizant of it. There are people through the years that have brought a lot of accusations against a lot of preachers in your organization. And I've not played that game. I don't know the details, so I can't. It wouldn't be right for me to do it. That's their thing. That's not my thing. My thing is to go by my own testimonies, what I know to be true, what I know about others, what others have shared. We have shared experiences, all of us who have been in this church, in or out. And that is the thing that touches the hearts of those who begin to open up their minds. Well, I guess it touches their minds. If they open their mind, touches their heart. It's almost like flock of cattle. It's my own version. Stop acting like you are this holy, gentle, loving one, when people can just tune in to your messages and see what it's about. The fundamental part you use of Christianity, of the Bible, to bring people like, yeah, okay, yeah, I can dig that. The Trinity, whatnot. And then you bring in, if you don't tithe, you're going to hell. Back tithe, $8,000. Fork it over, man. Maybe he gave it willingly. He didn't even get a name. He didn't even get an initial. I got a T. That poor dude. And I truly grieve for him. I grieve that he felt compelled to come back. There's a reason why he stopped going. I wonder if it's going to hit him soon. And then what's going to hit him is these $8,000 in the hole in his life. And he didn't even get a first name. Maybe he didn't want his name said. I don't know. But an initial at least, right? Something. Anyway, if you're going to keep this up, I'm just probably going to end this here because it's getting late. Well, I'll just say this last thing. My state is not pitiful. It's actually quite groovy and grand. I'm very chill, relaxed, and happy. My children and my granddaughter around me. A lot of friends. A lot of caring people. A lot of people I'm still very much in touch with in the organization, or that were in, that are now out. So I rebuke your lies. I don't know what else to say. Not to try to persuade anyone, but I am going to tell you, you are a liar, and you seem to do it so effortlessly. All the lives that you have smashed, trashed, lied about, threatened through the years. It's all gonna, it's all gonna be exposed because the next things that I would like to present to the viewing public are the way you behaved on FactNet and how almost everyone was appalled at your behavior before they knew who you were. Then people who knew who you were, such as myself, we had to acknowledge, oh wow, that guy's a leader in the church and he's behaving this way. It was scary. It was, just threw everything off. It's like, what is all this at this point? Anyway, I'm done. I'm not listening to any more of that message. Can't take it. It's all the same thing. I've said my piece. I refute what you say. You can't prove it. If anyone can, if you find any of those adjectives that match up to things I've posted, lay it on me. Let me know. As I said earlier, you can reach me at Facebook at TA Myrtle Beach, or you'll see Tracy Ann as my profile name. And then you can go to fill out a contact form on the blog, which is stayawayfromntcc.blogspot.com. And that will go right into my email. This way that protects me from weird spammers, pajama wearers. I don't know. Okay. Good night.